So, a friend of mine, Chris, aka the Film Cubano on YouTube, gave me this idea for a video, and it was something I didn't really think about at the time, and I haven't thought about it for a while. And it's funny that he mentioned this to me because there is something that I did want to try within this subject. Now, the subject is, of course, video game demos, and the fact that they don't really exist anymore if you think about it. It's it's kind of common for the Nintendo Switch to have demos available for you to play, but you don't really see that on the other consoles. I have yet to see many on my Xbox, and I don't really explore my PS4 enough to see them. But I do remember back when the PS4 was a current gen, there really wasn't that many demos, and there are certain things that are different with the Nintendo Switch demos that I will get to in a second. And the reason why this is important to us is because we come from a time where there was a lot of demos available. Back in the day on like PlayStation 1, we used to get demo disc in the mail, and it'll have like, I remember one in particular that had like a bunch of different games, different demos within one disc. I believe it was primarily 989 Studios. So if you don't know what that is, that's because it's a very, very old studio that obviously failed. But I remember the demo disc had a Tomb Raider game on it, which was weird. It had a couple of like racing games. There was one that was like an off-road racing that had mud and sand and snow conditions that you can race in. They had a baseball game. I think they had a football game on there. All by 989. It was 989 Studios, 989 Sports. And I want to go into a bit more about demos now because in some aspect, demos are good for certain things. It helps you know if you really want to get the game. It gives you a first like impression of the game without having to watch somebody on YouTube talk about it. It gives you a chance to experience it yourself. And it's funny how on the Switch, it's not just exclusives that gives you demos, because not every exclusive on Switch has a demo. Breath of the Wild doesn't have a demo. Mario Odyssey doesn't have a demo. I actually had a demo for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on my Switch. It was actually a pretty fun demo. And there is one that just released, which is for Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. So I am going to try that. I believe I heard the demo is somewhere around, I think, an hour or less around that time. Maybe 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But the reason why I want to talk more about it in detail is because some of these games, some of these demos, one in particular that I can think of was Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition on Switch, is after you complete the demo, whether it's an hour or 2 hours, if you buy the game, you can continue your progress from the demo. That actually happened to me with Monster Hunter Stories 2, because I had the demo, made progress, finished the demo, and I continued my progress. And that, I think, is really great for video games to do, because it not only allows you to continue where you left off, not having to redo everything, but you get a chance to see, do I want this game? Am I interested in this game? Is it going to meet my expectations based on the demo? And I think demos are important for certain games. For example, WWE 2K22 is coming out next week, I believe, on the 11th, unless you get the digital deluxe and you get it 4 days early. But 2K Wrestling took a year off because of the disaster of 2K20, as well as, I believe the last one on Switch was 2K18, which was... or maybe it was 18 or 19, but that one was a complete disaster. So I think games like that should have a mandatory demo for them to release so that people can try the game, see the mechanics. But it also has to come to the point where a demo should also allow the opportunity for developers to go back and make changes and fix things that are not working right in the game. Because most of these demos, like Kirby for example, release within a month of the game's release, and that's not enough time, in my opinion, to get feedback, go back into the development and fix the issues. I think in the case of Kirby and other Nintendo Switch demos, is so that you can try the game before you buy it. But I think there should be a need for demos for certain games, like WWE 2K. And I found this very interesting for me to talk about because, like I said, we used to get demo disc in the mail. I don't really remember any demos from PS2. I remember PS3 and PS4 had some demos you could download, but nothing like the Switch where you get to continue your progress. That's pretty great in my opinion. So what's going on with demos? Like, why are they not a thing anymore? Is it, is a number of different, mindsets or assumptions, predictions, whatever you want to call it. There's different things you can think of why this is the case. You know, it could be that they don't want to show you what they have before release. Like in the case of Cyberpunk, they had a mandatory restrictions on people who were getting their hands on Cyberpunk early. They only were allowed to use a certain footage that was provided to them by CD Projekt Red. In a situation like that, it shows that there is something to hide, and they don't want it to be known before release because it's going to make the situation even worse than it already will be. But I also think that there could be an idea of the whole thing about I want you to wait until the game releases to show what we put together for you. But I think that we need to be able to see the game before it releases, play it a little bit, just to get an idea of what we're walking into. That's the unfortunate part about gaming right now, is that gaming is so weird now that you have all these free-to-play games, which some are good and some aren't good. Like I still love playing Warzone, but I don't play Genshin Impact. I don't play any of the other battle royales. I actually hate Apex. Sorry to those who like Apex. I don't like Apex. I hate that it's limited to 3 players per team and not 4 like Warzone. Warzone for me is just fun, but you also have all these microtransactions and you have loot boxes. Now you have these NFTs, and in some cases you like you know, former wrestling games and other games like Cyberpunk, where the game is a disaster at launch, and even to this day when they had like the Cyberpunk updates and fixes, it's still a disaster in my opinion. They didn't really change anything because they really can't. They would have to, in my opinion, do the whole thing over from the ground up. And I think that's the real importance to demos, is being able to show us, hey, this game is ready to go, you're gonna have a great time with it, or hey, this game is not it, it's not worth it, I'm gonna save my $70, because it is $70 now for the next gen. I'll save my $70 and I'll put it towards something else. I'm a bit skeptical on Lego Star Wars coming out next month, because I do have the deluxe edition pre-ordered, and I know that there was a lot of delays and pushbacks. I hope we get a demo before release. We probably will. That way I can try the game, see if I want to keep it. I'm still probably going to keep it, to be honest. It's Star Wars. I mean, but that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below about demos. Do you like demos? Do you hate demos? Do you think they're a good idea or a bad idea? Let me know what games you were really excited for and it disappointed. For me, it was like Cyberpunk, and I actually have a funny story about Spider-Man Web of Shadows, but I'll say that for another video. But and Metroid Dread was also an issue for me, but I won't get into that right now. But like I said, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Happy Batman weekend. I haven't seen the movie yet. It's Friday as I'm filming this. Actually, it's still Friday as I'm filming this, so I'm gonna see it tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully I heard it's great, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Peace.